There are two things in life that are certain: death and taxes. That's a quote from Benjamin Franklin, the founding father of the United States. And it's a great quote. But I don't particularly believe in it fully. I believe there are actually three things that are certain, and that's death, taxes, and change. Change is inevitable, but it isn't always scary like death or taxes are. Change can encompass a vast variety of possibilities like good, bad, big, small, progressive, or regressive. So much power, so much unpredictability. Sometimes change is just so scary if you're not the one to initiate it yourself. But there is a way to have change benefit yourself, and the possibilities are endless. No matter how dynamic change can be, we are capable of initiating ourselves, thus unlocking great potential. So, how do we do it? I'll get to it, I promise you. Change is various, as mentioned before, and it could come in many forms, big and small. In the corporate world, making small changes is one of the only ways companies can effectively improve their product while also reducing their risk. One such company that exemplifies this is Pampers. Pampers, before the 90s, was the leading brand of diapers. They were the best. They have excellent absorption, and they're excellent at leak prevention. But in the 90s, they were overtaken by Huggies because they did everything that Pampers did, but better. So, Pampers made humongous changes to the diapers before they became number one, and that worked out for them. But now they got the competitor who did the same changes as they did. So now they have to find a different strategy. So they decided to go the route of the small change. What they did was make a small change in their philosophy. Instead of just making the best, most efficient diaper, they made it comfortable. They suited it to the needs of their customers. They made that small adjustment in their philosophy that fueled the adjustments to the rest of their products. For example, Pampers came up with Pampers Swaddlers with wetness indicators. What they did was show parents that sometimes changing diapers isn't as easy as 1, 2, 3, and that there is a proper way of putting it on even if the baby is squirming. For Pampers Cruisers, what they did was they distributed the wetness so perfectly that babies can still move by themselves even if they have crapped themselves. And Pampers Easy Ups, they make putting on diapers so easy that babies can do it themselves. It's comfortable and it suits the needs of their consumers. P&G awarded Pampers for their excellent innovations with the title of the first $10 billion brand. A tremendous award for the small but attentive changes that they made to their products. And today, Pampers has not slipped from their top spot after their ingenious innovations, and they continue to innovate today. For example, right here. Being on the stage right now, I feel like I really need one of these. Okay. As they say from here, Pampers has 3 layers of absorbency versus 2 in the other leading brand. I believe them, to be honest. See, keeping consistent, constant, attentive change leads to these results, and Pampers can attest to that from their position at the top. Small changes are necessary in the corporate world, but how about in our everyday lives? My parents, they are a big fan of saving money. It's a tremendous policy that they've had ever since they moved to Canada 18 years ago. Immigration is an example of a big change that my parents took, and it was a tremendous risk that they had to take. And it was great, but then once they arrived in Canada, they have nothing in the way of money or assets, and then making another big change will be nearly impossible. So they had to start small. They had to find some way. Now, I didn't really understood what small changes that they made back then because I didn't know how money worked, but I can see the effects of it today. My parents, they seldom eat out at restaurants. They replaced every single incandescent light bulbs in our house with LED light bulbs. And every single day, they will tell me to shut off the lights to my room whenever I'm not using it, every single time, because they care about the pennies. They are penny pinchers. It's just the little things that they do that add up. Now, from the short-term perspective, all these changes seem negligible, like what would a couple cents do to you? But take the restaurant, for example. If you were to get rid of one restaurant meal every single week, averaging $15, after a year, that will be $780 saved every single year. Now imagine if you eat more than one meal at a restaurant every year, and every week, and that meal would be more than $15. 780, that's like 300 junior chickens. Not bad. Just one small change alone can make such a big difference. And you can save yourself some considerable money. Now think about all the adjustments that you can make to your spending in your everyday life. It's great that my parents are like this, but sometimes it might get overbearing. I remember my parents be the type of parents who would invite your first date over to your house to be economic. So with that in mind, take a good look at your life currently. What aspect of it can be improved? What different part of your lifestyle can be changed? What you see now can be very different in a year if you stay consistent, even if tomorrow seems like nothing has changed. The significance of the small change that it's not just instant gratification that you receive from it. It is playing the long game and reaping the rewards from it. Making small changes is about having a goal. It's about having the means, it's about having the reason, and it's also about staying consistent. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't make big changes and take risks. What I'm saying is that small changes should be an everyday affair. You should be attentive to every aspect of your life that you feel that you can be improved, and it keeps you at the top of your game. For example, Pampers, they're still the number one diaper brand in the world at the moment. So, what can you change? Your habits, your relationships, your job, your skills. And if you're listening from the other speakers, you can improve your confidence, you can improve how you treat other people. Possibilities are endless. Anyone can improve their life overall by just simply being aware and observing the little things that can make their life just that little bit better. So, when do you start? A good time to start would have been yesterday, but then the best time to start would have been today. And if you stay consistent with that, then no matter what, your tomorrows will always be better. The smallest actions can have the greatest impact, you know? Thank you for listening, and be well, Bethune.